Injuries everywhere, chaos running wild, and somehow, we pretend to have control of our fantasy football lineups. Speaking of losing control, how do you train an eagle? I have no freaking clue, but the Giants, they figured it out. Week 6, start, sit, different day starts now. Welcome to Club Fantasy. Welcome to Start, Sit, Different Day. Week 6 is here. So are we. Josh Hudson, myself, Gator J. Remember, this show runs on your questions. Drop those Start, Sit dilemmas in the chat because Start, Sit, Different Day does not happen without you. Bye weeks, again, Houston, Minnesota this week. Another 9:30 a.m. game. Denver, the Jets in London. But again, this is week 6. What would it be without some kind of breaking news, some big news from the week? Joe Flacco traded to the Bengals, immediately named QB1. Speaking of, Shedeur Sanders was not named QB2. Bailey Zappi was off the practice squad, is now named QB2.
I thought they announced him as QB2 yesterday.
No, Bailey Zappi is now QB2.
Wow.
So just to add that little fire.
Wow, I completely missed that news.
He gets to face the Green Bay Packers for the second time this season. Josh, question for you. Is he an upgrade over Jake Browning?
No, this is a change for the sake of making a change. Look, with Flacco at quarterback, was anybody truly excited to start Jerry Jeudy or Cedric Tillman this year? And he threw 90 passes in the first 2 games, and you did not love starting either of them. Everybody said Flacco at quarterback, Jerry Jeudy is going to do the same thing that he did last year to end the season. No, he's been dog shit. Yes, the Bengals duo is so much better than Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman, but the Bengals offensive line is infinitely worse than Cleveland's. In the 4 games that Browning played, he threw 6 touchdowns, 3 of which came last week, and 8 interceptions. Flacco, in his 4 starts, threw only 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions with a 58.1% completion percentage. I don't know how many times I need to say this. Joe Flacco is not good anymore, and he's 40 years old behind a Swiss cheese offensive line. No, Jamie, no, he does not get better with age at all. He is awful. This is a change for the sake of making a change because you're paying your starting wide receiver duo over $70 million this year, and you're trying to get something out of them. Plain and simple.
I love it. Flacco's old enough to be Browning's father. It's true. Very, very fair statement. Very fair statement. Josh, let's first of all, let's remind everybody, hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already over here on YouTube. If you're on Apple, Spotify, any other podcast platform, make sure you follow us over there. If you want to get your questions, answer your start sit questions, your trade questions, whatever you have this morning, go right to the top of the line with that super chat button. Before we dive too far into it, Josh, let us know about Trophy Smack real quick.
Absolutely. The fantasy football season is here, and Trophy Smack is where you want to get all of those rewards. They have trophies, rings, championship belts, all of it designed to tell your league mates who the real champion is. So hit the link in the description of this podcast and check out some of the swag that you can get to gloat and lord your accomplishments over your league mates. All of it's available at trophysmack.com/club fantasy.
Also, we have our Discord that has been popping off over the last few weeks. We will have more and more content going over there as well. Make sure you jump over there and join us. As Ryan likes to say, it is absolutely 100% free for you to do that. Just drop the link over there in the chat for you guys. Josh, again, more injuries real quick heading into week 6. Kyler Murray, Mac Jones, Alvin Kamara, Chris Rodriguez, Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnston, Juwan Jennings, Terry McLaurin, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Coker, Tutu Atwell, Noah Brown, Dalton Kincaid, Colston Loveland, Jatavion Sanders are all listed as questionable. And then let's talk about this freaking morgue of people that are on the out this week. Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, Kayvon Turpin, Christian Watson, Calvin Austin, Joey Sly. And as you just put in, Miles Sanders is on the IR. He is done for the season. But a quick question on these real quick for you, Josh. If Mac Jones cannot go, they go to the third string starting quarterback, Adrian Martinez for the 49ers against Tampa. Real quick thoughts on what this is going to look like for the 49ers.
Dude, if Adrian Martinez has to start, the only player that I want in my lineup for the San Francisco 49ers is Christian McCaffrey. That's it. He's going to average 2 yards a carry, but he's going to catch like 10 balls for 20 yards.
Yeah, that's very, very fair. Chat is already lighting up over there. Let's get to some of these questions real quick. If we can get through them, and get into the heart of the show here. Jeff says, "Good morning. Worthy or Bourne and Steelers defense or the Packers defense?"
Well, I'll tell you what. I have zero issue starting Worthy since he's come back. I know he's a little, banged up, whatever. They've been featuring him quite a bit in that offense. And quite frankly, I always prefer the talent when it comes to questions like this. But if Mac Jones plays, I don't know how you don't start Kendrick Bourne, even with Juwan Jennings playing this week. Bourne and Mac Jones just have a really good connection, and it'd be hard pressed to sit that on your bench. So just keep an eye on, the reports with Mac Jones and, if he's going to be good to go or not. But I still would feel more comfortable starting Worthy, but Bourne, is certainly a viable option. In terms of defense, give me the Packers. They're not going to let Joe Flacco beat them twice.
Yeah, I think the nice thing about the Worthy Bourne question is, Bourne's at 4. I'm sorry, Worthy's at Sunday night. Bourne's at 4:30. So you got a little bit of time there to get that. Jonathan comes back and says, "Good morning, guys. Rough fantasy week for me. Already benched Wandell in 2 leagues, one of them against Scattaboo. Do you guys still have the other guy still has CMC and Jonathan Taylor. Even worse part, he's an Eagles fan. Lucky he's 4-1. But who would you start in a PPR between Kyle Pitts and Mason Taylor?"
In terms of tight ends, I mean, I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier this week. Mason Taylor is kind of the volume play at tight end right now. There's nothing that you love about this Jets offense. Just take the first 3 quarters of last week's game. When they're off and they're ugly. But then garbage time comes into play and all bets are off. The problem is you don't love banking on garbage time. And that's what makes Mason Taylor such a tricky start, in my opinion. I would much rather trust Pitts. He's been a lot better this season. He's seeing targets, he's finding the end zone. He's getting quality yards here. Darnell Mooney, I think, is going to be fine in this offense, but he only has 1 game where he's been relatively relevant this season. It's been all Bijan, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. So I'm perfectly fine trotting out Kyle Pitts.
Yeah,
especially since his bye is gone. So
yeah, for those of you that watch us on a regular, we have a segment with our favorite matchups and our least favorite matchups. My least favorite matchup this week almost was Mason Taylor. I'd be starting Kyle Pitts here. Jonathan says, also got a weird flex question. Would you start Michael Carter or DK? My league is broken with kick return points, and DK is a solid 15 to 20 points per week from kick returns.
I think this is a really interesting question. I love leagues like this that do these types of, interesting scoring scenarios. As we'll get to a little bit later, I do not love this matchup for the Cardinals against the Colts this week. I'm fading Michael Carter. And if you're getting return yards points, fire up DK. I think this is a great matchup for this team. Both the Titans and the Raiders are absolutely awful when it comes to defense right now. They're giving up a ton. You're going to see a lot of back and forth. you might see a lot of back and forth kicking too, because neither of these offenses are particularly great either. So I think that's going to be a lot of opportunities for DK to get some points for you this week.
Yeah, I actually, my first thought was, it's Michael Carter. This is easy. But then, like you say, not only is he doing it in the kick return, but he's also getting more opportunity at the wide receiver position is DK. So I think it is easy.
Jay, I just want to call you out really quick before we get to Marky's question. All the main outlets, they're saying Shedeur Sanders is the QB2, which is exactly what I saw. So I need to know where you saw
I will
this Bailey Zappi announced this QB2 from.
Yep. I will pull it up and get that over to you as quickly as I can.
Because everybody was running with Shedeur as the QB2 yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it came from Stefanski during a press conference.
And when I saw it this morning, it was kind of shocking too. So yeah.
Right.
So I will find out where I saw that at and get that up to you. Good morning, Caesar. Good morning, Trone. Good morning, Jamie. And Marky says, was it bad that I dropped Njoku for Michael Carter if I had Njoku, Kincaid, and Waller as my tight ends?
I wouldn't say that it's bad. I mean, clearly you have enough quality at the tight end position that you don't need 3 of them. You can really only start 1, maybe 2 if you put them in your flex, but flexing tight ends doesn't offer you near as much upside as starting or flexing a running back or a wide receiver in that spot. You need running back depth. Trey Benson's going to be out for a while. Obviously, James Conner's out for the season. Carter seems to be the starter there over Mari DiMercato. So I don't hate it. I will say that I don't like Kincaid or Waller this week from a matchup perspective. I do like Njoku this week. But in a vacuum, no, I don't think it's a bad thing when you have that many tight ends. But I would have tried to look for trading one of them for a better running back versus just outright dropping them. But again, I'm not in your league. Maybe your league doesn't trade very much. So, like I said, in a vacuum, I'm fine with it with the situation that you're in.
Quickly for you, the answer is over on Sports Grid, and it's being put out by Yahoo Sports. So there's your answer on why Bailey Zappi is the number 2. Ryan Bear says, would you trade Sutton and Diggs for Jamar Chase?
In a heartbeat.
Bye. Yep. That's
Ryan. Look, I understand Jamar Chase is down a bit. Like he's not the, top 3 wide receiver that we really want him to be with the ongoing, merry-go-round at quarterback, but he's still Jamar Chase. He's a better talent. And we saw last week, like when they really need to throw, he's going to do some things. And he was the wide receiver 2 on the week in garbage time, basically. So he has a much higher ceiling on a week-to-week basis than Sutton or Diggs combined. You go get Jamar Chase.
Marky comes back and says, would I start Kincaid or Waller and then Diggs Moore or Carter at flex?
I love Stephon Diggs this week. I also like DJ Moore this week. So in terms of the flex, I would rank them Diggs Moore, Carter. I don't love either of these tight ends, but if I'm starting one, it's going to be Kincaid just because I think he's in a better offense. And he is the top target earner right now with Buffalo. So I'm going to lean Kincaid, but I don't love either of these guys this week. Waller's going against the Chargers and facing Derwin James, who absolutely shuts down tight ends. Kincaid gets Atlanta. Atlanta is allowing 17 yards per game to the tight end position. And they faced a couple of pretty decent ones in TJ Hawkinson and Zach Ertz. So it's not like they're just beating up on bad tight ends. So it worries me a little bit with Kincaid, but again, because he's more involved in that respective offense, I would prefer Kincaid over Waller at the tight end position this week.
Yeah, Kincaid's also got the injury designation with an oblique, so there may be something to go there. Chase Brown or Charbonnet at flex. Also Pitts or pick up Andrews or Barner.
I'm fine with Pitts. Andrews should be fine when Lamar comes back. AJ Bonner, I still think, is very touchdown reliant. He's not a volume guy.
If it wasn't for the 2 touchdowns against Tampa, you wouldn't even know his name right now.
That's, again, kind of my point there.
Correct.
So it's Pitts, Andrews, Barner for me. In terms of the running back position, flip a coin. I mean, I don't love Charbonnet this week because Jacksonville is legit on defense. And honestly, Kenneth Walker gets a lot of the chunk yards. Charbonnet just makes his living on touchdowns at this point. Like, he's just siphoning touchdowns from Walker. So by default, I'm going to say Chase Brown, but I don't love it.
Yeah, that's rough. Zach says, I got McConkey, Rome in the wide receiver and flex spots. Would y'all remove?
Chase.
Did I miss one?
Jamar Chase.
Oh, I got Chase
McConkey and Rome. Yeah.
I got Chase McConkey and Rome in wide receiver and flex spots. Would y'all remove one to put Flowers or Olave in their place? Remember, Zay Flowers has also got an injury designation this week as well.
Yeah, as long as Cooper Rush is quarterbacking the Ravens, I'm staying away from Flowers and really most of the pieces in that Ravens offense, if we're being honest. I like Olave just from a volume perspective, but I mean, you're getting that with Chase and Rome. McConkey finally scored a touchdown this week. He's got a really good matchup against Miami. I'm okay trotting out McConkey because I don't feel like you need that safe floor option that Olave provides because you've got two really good options in Jamar Chase and Rome Odunze. I would keep it as is, Zach.
Start 2 wide receivers and 2 flex. I have JSN, Ted McMillan, Pittman, London, Spears, Vidal, Higgins, Dobbs, and Quentin Johnston.
All right, 2 wide receivers. JSN is the gimme. There's no reason to not start him. Let me see. London's got Buffalo. Pittman has the Cardinals. I mean, there's a lot of really good matchups here. Honestly, I would start your first 4, JSN, McMillan, Pittman, and London. God damn, QJ's got a really good matchup. Dude, what is going on? You have some baller wide receivers here.
Yeah, that is an insane wide receiver.
Shit, man. I hate sitting QJ, but all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit Pittman just because of the matchup, and I'll go QJ. I mean, look, QJ against Miami. Come on, like that's got to be worth something there. So, JSN, McMillan, QJ, London. Those are my 4. That's who I'm starting.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on all of that. Just remember, QJ does have a
questionable tags are not what they used to be. Questionable is basically probable these days.
But it's a hamstring, and that's what bothers me. So just just put it out there. It's a 1:00 game, so you'll get it pretty early. Make sure you keep an eye on that. Who do I start? Amanoyer? How do you say it?
Manor.
Manor. Mason Taylor, RJ Harvey, or Sterling Shepard. Remember, Sterling Shepard is with Tampa with only Mbike as the only wide receiver there.
Ibuka. Jesus Christ.
I knew you were going to do it at least once.
Here's the thing about Shepard. I was actually going through and I was looking at this because somebody asked me another question earlier this week about Shepard. He hasn't really had the spike games that I feel like he should have given the amount of opportunities he's seeing. I think he has an okay floor as a flex, but I'm going to chase the upside here with Manor. He's got a great matchup against the Raiders. The reason that, honestly, he's ranked above Calvin Ridley in terms of current standings in fantasy, he scored touchdowns. Ridley hasn't. Ridley has the yards, but both of them are catching less than 50% of their passes because Cam Ward's not throwing very accurately. So, but again, what ails struggling teams is facing a bad defense, and that's exactly what the Raiders have. So I think there's a lot of upside here with Manor. That's who I would go with, Mark.
100% agree there. Fantasy Sports love the show. Thank you, sir. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe. Who would you rather have rest of the season, Ridley or T. Higgins in a PPR?
If I'm being honest, Ridley. But I was higher on Ridley heading into the season than I was Higgins. And that's before we knew that Joe Burrow was going to be out for the season. So, I mean, Higgins is very touchdown reliant. You're dealing with a backup quarterback who's not going to be finding him that often in the end zone. I think he's ultimately a top 30 option this year. I think Ridley has the potential to be a top 24 guy when that offense really starts getting firing away. So give me Ridley rest of the season.
Yeah, if they can figure it out any way, shape, or form in Tennessee. Marcus says, should I drop Waller for Njoku or Fannin just for the week? I have Kittle hopefully coming back.
I mean, I do like both Njoku and Fannin over Waller this week. Again, keep in mind with Kittle, they're targeting week 7 for him to return. There's no guarantee that week 7 is his return. I just want to preface that. Yeah, I mean, I don't love Waller's matchup this week. So if you're playing week to week, like get one of the Cleveland tight ends, and I'd prefer Njoku to Fannin.
Mark says, Quentin Johnson, is he likely to play this week?
I think he is, but I'm certainly not a doctor.
Right. Bro, our birds need an OC.
Our birds need a lot more than an offensive coordinator. We need a healthy offensive line too. Yeah, you guys will notice this is why I've switched to the Hurricanes. They're actually a good team. So we're just going to like retire the Eagles gear for right now until they pull their heads out of their asses.
Quincy says, start 1, Garrett Wilson, JCM, Henderson, Chase Brown. And would you drop Chase Brown for T. Higgins?
I would never drop a running back for a equally struggling wide receiver. So no, hang on to Chase Brown. Second, I mean, it's hard to say sit Garrett Wilson. I don't love the matchup for him against the Broncos going against Patrick Surtain. I think the guy that gives you the most upside this week is Bill Croskey-Merritt, and we can talk about him here shortly. But I'm curious, Quincy, who your other starting wide receivers are. That you've got Wilson in more of the flex conversation, but I think JCM offers so much upside this week.
Yeah, Josh, we're 22 minutes into the show. You know, since Quincy brought it up, let's talk about some of your favorite plays real quick. I know you got JCM in there, so let's talk about Bill, I guess.
Yeah, Bill or JCM, whatever you would like to call him, goes against the Chicago Bears this week. The Bears are allowing the most rushing yards per game to opposing running backs through 5 weeks. They're also allowing the 3rd most fantasy points per game to running backs through the first 5 weeks. Bill is averaging 6.6 yards per carry. 6.6 for a running back. For a 7th round rookie running back, mind you. He has begun to separate himself from the other Jags in that backfield. I think he's a bona fide RB2 this week and offers top 12 upside if he's able to find the end zone more than once, which, again, when you're going against a porous defense and an offense that is down some of their top receiving weapons, they're going to run the ball a lot. And I think that opens up some opportunities here. We might get a multi-touchdown game from Bill Croskey-Merritt this week.
Yeah, what I like about it is, you know, there was that it was like 30-30-30 when it comes to the share there in the backfield. He's pretty much taken over 50%, and now Chris Rodriguez and Jeremy McNeil are sitting on the bench most of the time. I'll give you real quick one of mine. Rico Darnold. Last Sunday we saw him run for 206 and then receive another 28. It was the most rushing yards by a Panther since ding, 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 D'Angelo Williams in 2012. It's been a minute, but it's also the fifth most by an NFL player in the last 5 years. He's got a fantastic matchup against the Cowboys this week, who allow the 6th most fantasy points per game and the 12th most rushing yards to running backs. I'm really digging this Rico Darnold this week here.
Yeah, remember when the Cowboys traded Micah Parsons so that they could stop the run more? How's that working out for him? Not great, Bob!
Who else you got?
Calvin Ridley at the Las Vegas Raiders. Ridley coming off a 131-yard performance in Week 5 against Tennessee. Excuse me, not against Tennessee. He is part of Tennessee. Against the Cardinals. That's what I meant to write. He faces the Raiders secondary this week that is allowing 169 receiving yards per game to opposing wide receivers and the 4th most fantasy points per game through 5 weeks. Ridley leads the Titans in receiving yards, but he has yet to score a touchdown. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, that's what A.M. Maynard's doing right now. A.M. Maynard's getting the touchdowns. Ridley's compiling the yards. But I think this is the week where he and Cam Ward hook up for the first time against, again, a god-awful Raiders secondary.
So bad. Which is worse, the Raiders offense or the Raiders defense?
Well, at least the Raiders offense has Ashton Jeanty. I mean, granted, the Raiders defense has Max Crosby, so
again, that's the question.
Honestly, I think it's the defense.
Yeah, I do as well. Even though Geno keeps throwing interceptions, it's whatever. Smash the over interceptions on any bet you can get from there. Devontae Adams is another one of mine. You remember the time where Devontae Adams was the best receiver in fantasy football?
Yeah.
Well, now he's
long ago either.
Yeah. Now he plays alongside the best receiver in fantasy football, and that's Puka Nacua. Again, Adams used to be Batman. Now he's Robin. But he's seeing at least eight targets in 4 of the last 5 games. It's just volume, and it's valuable volume for him because he's getting it in the red zone. Oh, by the way, they face the Ravens, who give up touchdowns inside the red zone to wide receivers. He is a smash play for me this week. He should be a smash play every week, but this one here, this matchup, after what we saw last week with Houston going into Baltimore and absolutely dismantling that team without a Jamar Jackson, this one here to me just feels like if they get up by 4, by 3 touchdowns, you're probably not going to see the wide receivers because it'll be the running the game. But if somehow the Ravens can even remotely keep this close, a 2-score game, you're going to see Matthew Stafford and these boys just sling the ball all over the park.
Yeah, I love Kieran Williams this week too. I honestly, that entire Rams offense, the only thing that's going to slow them down is the time change.
Yeah,
West Coast going East Coast.
Yeah, but isn't it if I'm looking, is it a 4:00 game or is it a 1:00 game? No, it is a 1:00 game. It is a 1:00 game, so it is kind of least favorite matchup for you this week.
It's the Cardinals duo, Michael Carter and Amari DiMercato at the Colts. Colts are stuffing opposing running backs this season. They're allowing the 6th fewest fantasy points per game through 5 weeks. Let's be honest, neither of these backs are particularly good. Michael Carter was on the practice squad earlier this season. DiMercato is a 3rd stringer. DiMercato broke one last week, and then, of course, we know what happened. Fumbled it before actually crossing the end zone. Carter got his points via volume. He only had, I think, 50-something yards on 18 carries. So now you're facing a legitimately good defense, and your mobile quarterback that helps open up lanes is a dire questionable, not a probable questionable. There's been a lot of talk that Kyler Murray might actually miss this week. And I think if you take him off the field, that's only going to make the Cardinals running backs job that much more difficult. I have Carter completely out of the flex conversation this week.
Oof. That hurts feelings. My least favorite matchup this week is Sam Darnold. Although he might be the most underrated quarterback in Superflex leagues. Slow start week 1. He's finished quarterback 20, quarterback 10, quarterback 17, quarterback 3 over the last month. Currently averaging a career best 9.2 yards per pass. He cut his sack rate down and all of this. Fine, cool. Cut his sack rate down. Best in his career. But this is a different Jacksonville defense. They are different. They average 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and over a sack a game. Look, last week was a great game, a shootout with Tampa. This defense right here is a little bit different than Tampa's defense. I don't know if Jacksonville's offense can hang with Seattle, but as far as that defense going, it's hard for me to start Sam Darnold this week up against that defense.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Darnold last week, but this week, I think he falls back into the QB2 conversation.
All right, don't forget, hit that like, hit that subscribe over here on YouTube. If you're on Apple, Spotify, any other platform, make sure you follow us over there. Again, if you want to get your questions, jump to the front of the line. It doesn't matter where we're at. Hit that super chat button, and we will put you in the front of the line there. Josh, one more time, let's hit that trophy smack real quick.
Yeah, where's my read? All right, fantasy football season is here, and Trophy Smack is where you want to get all of your rewards. They have trophies, rings, championship belts, all designed to tell your league mates who the real champion is. hit the link in the description of this podcast and check out some of the swag that you can get to gloat and lord your accomplishments over your league mates. All of it's available at trophysmack.com/club fantasy. And real quick, before we get into the questions, Quincy chimed in with his wide receivers from earlier when we were asking about Garrett Wilson. He's starting Ibuka and Cortland Sutton. Now, Sutton also going against the Jets, whereas the Jets face the Broncos, obviously. Would you start Sutton over Garrett Wilson, even though Sutton has to face Sauce Gardner?
No. I'm starting Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
Listen, there's not a lot that's positive in that Jets offense right now outside of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, and those are the two that to me, it's an automatic smash. I love Sutton.
I agree.
But that's Sauce is Sauce.
Yeah, Sauce is Sauce. He's struggled a little bit this season. I'm kind of the mindset that while Patrick Surtain, yes, much like Quinyon Mitchell with Philly, like these are guys that can take away half the field. They can take away your top wide receiver. But if there's no real other threats, they don't have to play man coverage. They can play zone. They can play, when the Broncos get up, they can play prevent defense. That's going to open up opportunities where he's not seeing that level of press coverage. I think you still have a higher ceiling with Garrett Wilson over Cortland Sutton. So for me, Quincy, I'm going to ride with Wilson over Sutton, and then I'm going to put Bill in my flex. That's how I would do it. Now, I'm not saying that Sutton won't or can't outscore Garrett Wilson this week. He 100% can. But when you talk about ceiling plays, Garrett Wilson's ceiling is much higher than Cortland Sutton's, especially because Sutton has other options on that offense that can pop in any given week. Garrett Wilson does not. There's nobody else on the Jets that's going to pop.
100%. All right, Josh, 31 minutes in. We're complete with our show sheet. It is all about the questions now. Are we ready?
Roll, baby.
Let's go. Caesar says, flex, Wandale or Dowdle?
It's Waddle.
Why do I keep saying
you do this every time, dude?
Because I try to read it too fast.
I'm going to need you to go see your eye doctor this week and up your prescription. Listen here. Just because I ride you to start the show about exactly, payback's a bitch.
Let's go. Flexing Waddle or Dowdle?
I would prefer Dowdle this week.
Yes, I 100% agree. Do I start Judkins or Rachaad White for Brandon?
Y'all are testing me.
I don't think this is a test, though. There's no way you say Rachaad White here. It's Judkins, right? Because even though we looked at what we saw last week, White stepped into the bucket.
No, White sucked. He got bailed out by 2 touchdowns because 100%. They decided to hand it to him in the red zone.
He was the same Rachaad White that we've seen for the last 10 years, I think.
No, 100% he was.
So it's Judkins is the easy answer.
I mean, is it easy, though? Who are the Browns playing this week? They got the Steelers. That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, if you're in a PPR league, I'm probably leaning Rachaad White this week.
All right, that's fair.
If it's half point or standard, I'm leaning Judkins. And we got a super chat that just came through.
Fields or Murray for K Quicks, $5 super chat. Appreciate you, sir, or ma'am. Fields or Murray, and does Higgins' stock go up with Flacco?
I don't think Higgins' stock goes up. I mentioned this at the top of the show, K-Quicks. This is a lateral move going from Jake Browning to Joe Flacco. This is not a boost. You're going to a 40-year-old quarterback behind a Swiss cheese offensive line. That it's not going to help this team any. He did not elevate the receiving options in Cleveland. I don't really believe he's going to elevate the receiving options in Cincinnati either. He had 2 touchdown passes in 4 games. Jake Browning had 6 over 4 games. So I'm saying it's not much of an upgrade. You could make the argument it's probably a downgrade, quite honestly. But Higgins to me is very touchdown reliant. So unless Flacco just completely flips the script, I'm not rushing to like start Joe Higgins or T Higgins in my lineup. This week, I mean, I don't love Fields against that Broncos defense. But with Murray hobbled and against another really good defense, I'm still going to prefer Fields because of what he's able to do on the ground, which, again, Broncos are very good about stopping rushing quarterbacks. They faced 3 pretty good ones this season. Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, and I'm forgetting the other one off the top of my head. But of those 3, they combined for 11 rushing yards against them. Like, the Broncos just sit back and they make them pass the football. They are so good at containing. Fields is going to have to beat the Broncos with his arm. I'm just throwing that out there. But I'm not. I still would lean Fields just because the upside is 100% there. But no, I'm not high on Higgins at all.
Yeah, I think I'm with you with Fields over Murray, and I will throw this back at you just for K Quicks real quick. I think the stock that goes up, possibly if any stock goes up with Joe Flacco, is going to be for Noah Fant, Gesicki moving up a little bit, slight movement up for them, not anything else. Mm-hmm. We have another one from Uni K. And I'm going to bring up his question here. Is Bill or D Swift PPR this week?
Oh, it's Bill. It's not close. Swift is so overrated.
I agree. All right, let's get back up to the very beginning here. Appreciate the super chats. Again, if you guys want to jump in and get those super chats, get your question answered right away, jump on that, and we will get those brought in. Start 2 wide receivers, DK, Jennings, or Bourne?
Definitely DK. I don't know if I'm really that excited about the San Francisco wide receiver room, but I'm under the impression that Mac Jones will play, and I'm going to start Bourne over Jennings. But DK is 100% the go-to.
All right, I like it. Quincy comes back, says 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Derrick Henry, Dobbins, Pollard, JCM, Vidal, Spears at running back. Is wide receivers are Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, QJ, Higgins, Travis Hunter.
So let's start at running back. I'm going to go Dobbins and Bill. Those would be my top 2. At wide receiver, QJ and Bourne. And then my 2 flex, I'm going to go with Pollard and begrudgingly, I'll say Higgins.
All right, there you go. Another super chat from GK. Most volume. Hindi, so I guess Henderson, Carter, Vidal, or Sharps.
Oh man, this is a tough one. Well, the only one of these guys that I think is guaranteed to have a RB1 role, as in the starter in the offense, is Michael Carter. Granted, I don't know what that volume is ultimately going to get you. Henderson, they seem to be in New England. They seem to be wanting to ease him in. Ramondre Stevenson is still the guy despite the fumbling problems. Kamani Vidal, we talked about him on our waiver show. Ryan and I prefer Vidal over Hassan Haskins, but there's certainly a world where Haskins comes in and becomes that, first, second down thumper because he's just built bigger than Kamani Vidal. Haskins has been on the roster. He played with Harbaugh at Michigan. Harbaugh is very familiar with what Haskins is able to do. But the reason that Vidal's been on the practice squad, whereas Haskins has been on the active roster, Haskins plays special teams. Vidal does not. So this is very much a similar situation, in my opinion, where the Cardinals brought up Carter off the practice squad and started him over DeMercado because DeMercado plays special teams. That's well within the realm of possibilities for Kamani Vidal. But this offense has become very pass happy. Pass happy, you want Vidal in the lineup. Charbonnet is still an RB2 in my opinion. He gets work and it's very much a split, but Walker is the starter there. I'm going to rank them Carter, Vidal, Charbonnet, Henderson. If we're talking just volume, that's what I'm going to say. But I think you can very easily flip Charbonnet and Vidal.
Yeah, like you said, though, I so bad don't understand what New England's doing. Henderson should absolutely be that dude. Trone says he acquired Nico Collins this week, and someone sent him an offer this morning of Pickens for Nico. I would consider countering with Pickens and Rashid Rice for Nico and Kupp. Should I?
No, because Kupp is useless. Kupp is the equivalent of a RB handcuff. He will not have any sort of fantasy relevance unless Jackson Smith and Jigba gets hurt. He's not performing. He's not doing anything. This offense runs through JSN, and it runs through the running backs. And then they're sprinkling in the tight end, Barner in the red zone, and Torrey Horton is the deep threat. That's the offense in a nutshell. Cooper Kupp is just an ancillary piece that is forgotten about until called upon. And honestly, it's working for him because A, the offense is working great, and B, it's keeping Cooper Kupp healthy.
Fair. Harry says, how do you rank these wide receivers rest of the season? He does put in that it is PPR, so it's Wandell, Kendrick Bourne, Jennings, or Calvin Ridley. How do you rank them rest of the season? PPR.
Ridley is my one. I would probably go Robinson to Jennings and then Bourne. My biggest issue with Bourne is I think people are just overblowing the 1 week. He's got a great rapport with Mac Jones. But the moment that Ricky Pearsall's back, Jennings back healthy, Brandon Ayuk comes back, there's a better percent chance that Kendrick Bourne is just released straight up this season than any of these four guys. So, I wouldn't get too excited rest of season for Bourne, but that doesn't mean I'm not willing to trot him out and start him while he's playing. So, yeah, that's how I'd rank him.
All right. Zach over on Twitch says, I know this sounds dumb, but should I start Ramondre Stevenson over Henry at flex if Johnson doesn't play this week?
I don't hate it at all. I mean, with Henry is game script dependent. Always has been. He works with Lamar because Lamar runs a high-powered offense in Baltimore. Cooper Rush does not. They force-fed Henry last week 15 carries, and he got all of 33 yards. He saved his day because he found the end zone. That's pretty much your ceiling right now with Cooper Rush at quarterback, especially against a Rams defense that is very good against the run. So I don't hate starting Stevenson over Henry this week at all.
Yeah, he's going to try to make a funny about it and be like, well, if your league has penalty points for fumbles. Oh, wait, never mind. They both fumble. Jonathan, good morning, guys. A rough fantasy week for me. Already benched Wandell. Wait, we just did this. Didn't we just do that?
I was going to say, dude, these are are you unstarring questions that you're answering?
Yes, but they keep popping back in somehow. Fields or JD5 this week. I think this is pretty easy.
Oh, it's Daniels.
Dustin says, does Joe Flacco start moving Chase, Higgins, Brown up for the rest of your season rankings?
No, I've said it all throughout this show. Flacco does not move the needle for me. He's literally no different than Jake Browning.
Jeff wants to know, Scary Terry, Pearsall, would you drop either or both?
I mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. Like, if you have to, because you're not getting anything from them, you do what you got to do. I would, at this point, honestly, I'd prefer to hang on to Pearsall over Scary Terry. And it's not because I think that Pearsall is better than Terry McLaurin. It's simply because if you're going to see a specialist because of a quad injury, that tells me you're going to be out for a while. That's just how I'm looking at it. So, their running game in Washington is working pretty well. And I think that ultimately is going to limit how much they throw the football anyway. I think Pearsall's the guy.
I like it. Don't forget, make sure you're hitting that like and hitting that subscribe.
We got a couple of super chats that came through.
Did I miss them? All right, let's back up here real quick because they always go to the bottom. For some reason, they should jump up to the top. Los Palo Bros.
Williams, come on, man.
Trade. My RB room is Bijan, Jameson, RJ. Wait. Bijan, Brown, Jameson, RJ, Bill, and Swift. My wide receiver room is Abika. London, Odunze, Horton, Bond, Franklin, Coker, looking to trade Swift. Would you pick Addison, Hunter, Olave, or keep Swift?
I would rank them Olave, Addison, Swift, and then way down the list, Hunter. That's how I would rank them. If you can get somebody to give that up for you for DeAndre Swift, by all means, do it. You got a pretty solid running back room with Bijan. I'm guessing that's Javonte Williams and not Jameson Williams, because Jameson Williams is a wide receiver. Chase Brown is an okay flex play at this point. Bill is like that's your RB3, honestly. So Swift is the bottom of the barrel here. So like if you can get Olave, who's a volume guy, Addison, who's doing well, if you can get one of them to help round out your wide receiver room, I would do that 100%.
Okay, Quick comes back with another one. Banner or Fannin or Pitts or Walker, Keenan Allen or Monty, Waller or Johnson, Dak or May.
There's a lot of wars, man. Jeez. Yeah.
All full PPR. So, okay, I'm going to take this as multiple leagues. Yeah. So Banner or Fannin.
Wow, this feels like such a loaded question. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to take the pairing of Fannin and Pitts over Barner. That's what I would do.
Oh, I think it's Banner or Fannin, and then the next one is Pitts or Waller.
Okay,
next
all
one
right.
Monty. Right.
Fannin over Barner.
Okay.
If we're doing rest of season, it's Waller over Pitts. But if it's this week, it's Pitts over Waller. Keenan Allen or Monty. Who does Detroit have this week? I feel like they have another.
Detroit has got Kansas City on Sunday night.
Kansas City's got a good run defense.
I think it's Keenan Allen until he gets hurt, right?
Yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen, he's a safe play, and Miami's defense sucks, especially their pass defense. I do like Juwan Johnson this week against Waller. I know the last couple of weeks have been tough from a volume perspective, but I think, again, this is a matchup they can exploit. New England's defense is kind of hit or miss, but they give up a lot to tight ends, so I think Johnson will be okay. God damn, that's tough at quarterback. It's flip a coin, honestly. I think they're both good. May offers more with his legs than Dak does, but that's going to be such a shootout. I think you got to go Dak over May this week.
Yeah, I don't think you can put May over Dak at all going against Carolina this week. So yeah, it's Dak for me as well. Ingram or Fannin for Ian, PPR.
It's Fannin for me. I think Ingram is so overrated, and people are just hanging on to their pre-draft takes on how he was going to fit with that Sean Payton offense.
He does wear the number 1.
He ain't number 1, that's for sure.
Paul, half-point PPR. Start Hunter Henry, Shaheed, or Ryan Flournoy.
Yeah, I tell you what. Flournoy is interesting to me. Going against Carolina. Carolina does really well against number 1 wide receivers. J.C. Horn can take George Pickens out of that matchup. And if Dak continues to throw, he's going to look at Jake Ferguson, and he's going to look at Flournoy. I think Flournoy is probably the ceiling play here. I think the only reason Shaheed is in these start-sit questions is because he finally popped this past week, but he's not consistent enough for me to consider. Hunter Henry's the safest bet out of all these people against the Saints. So I would say if you want floor, it's Hunter Henry. If you want ceiling, it's Flournoy.
Fair.
Another super chat came through.
I hated that it doesn't light it up and it goes all the way to the bottom again.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Tyler Sperry says, Bourne or Dobbs, Taylor or Tungus?
First question. Bourne's definitely the safer option. Dobbs, they spread the ball around so freaking much in Green Bay. And the Bengals are so bad. I'm going to go Dobbs over Bourne. Unless we get some level of clarification that Mac Jones plays, you can't not start Bourne, honestly. Taylor Tungus. Taylor's the volume play. He's not a safe volume play, but he's a volume play.
Yeah, I think
Tungus is just so touchdown dependent.
It is 100%. All right. Joseph says, are we still going Justin Fields over Bo Nix?
I think he's got a higher ceiling than Nix, but Nix is 100% the safer play. I'll be honest with you. I would feel more comfortable starting Bo Nix over Justin Fields.
K Quick says, guys, I've lost Connor, Irving, Tracy, and Hampton this season, but did catch this morning where Warren was out and started Gainwell.
I'm assuming that was probably for 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Where did?
Yeah, I don't know what the point of that K-Clicks was, but probably just giving context to one of his questions. But
Quincy comes back, 10-man, 5-0. Do I make any moves? Here's his team. JD5, Fields, Kraft, Waller, CMC, Achan, Bill, Henderson, Chase Brown, Henderson, Abika, Mike Evans, Rashid Rice, Sutton.
Dude, if you're 5-0, you're sitting pretty, honestly. I mean, your wide receiver room is going to get exponentially better when you get Rice back after this week. Maybe you try for. Honestly, I wouldn't do anything, dude. Don't overthink it. You're 5-0, like you're kicking ass. I think that's the thing is like some people when they're just consistently winning, they're not getting that rush of fantasy football activity because it's like I have no competition, so they feel the need to trade. You're sitting pretty, dude.
Yeah, don't get cute.
Exactly.
As they say. Fantasy Sports says, do you feel once Lamar returns, Henry can have a good year? Folks are down, but it's more because Baltimore's defense keeps giving up points.
Yeah, I think Henry will be fine, but I think he's just more of a top 15 option than a top 5 option. But I've always kind of felt that way because he doesn't offer anything in the passing game. When you're dealing with a defense that sucks, you're going to be coming from behind. It's going to put more pressure on the offense. So look, if you drafted Henry to be like, your RB1, that's the problem. That's why you're panicking. To me, he's always been in RBR leagues, and he's so overly touchdown dependent. He doesn't catch passes. So
Joseph wants to know who's the stash to keep: Jaden Blue, Algier Spears, or Rashard Smith.
Well, with Miles Sanders going on IR this week, I think the correct answer here is Jaden Blue. I would rank them Blue, Smith, Spears, and Algier. Algier is the more traditional handcuff of these two. Algier gets plenty of run, but the moment if something, God forbid, knock on wood, were to happen to Bijan Robinson, Algier is an instant top 15 option because we've already seen a 1,000-yard season from him as the lead back.
Yeah, I want to say that there is a little bit of value that Algiers carries as a standalone. It's not a ton, but he can be a flex play even with Bijan, healthy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like you're never going to feel comfortable starting him, so I'm not putting him in that category. We're talking about a stash play for somebody that, if something were to happen, like they become an instant guy, right? You're starting to work him into the KC offense as a pass catcher. That offense needs juice. And maybe when Rashid Rice comes back, that juice gets there. But that doesn't mean that they can't continue to get more juice because they're not getting anything out of the running game right now. And we know Andy Reid loves to throw the football. And Rashard Smith can catch the football. He played both wide receiver at University of Miami and running back at SMU.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. They are getting something out of the running game. It's just not coming out of the running game or the person that you thought it was going to come out of. Not you personally.
Kareem Hunt is just scoring touchdowns. That's the only juice that they're getting.
When he gets 7 opportunities and he smashes 50 yards, that's pretty damn good juice right there. K Quicks comes back. I started Tracy with 0.6 points, so Vidal or Gainwell. And do I start one over Shepard?
Well, Jalen Warren's back this week. He's got no injury designation. I think that parks Gainwell. Ugh, God. My head says Vidal, but I feel like it's such a trap. Honestly, I would take the safer play here with Shepard. I know exactly what I'm getting out of Shepard. It may not be great, but he could get you 10 points.
Yeah, I don't want to sit Shepard if I don't have to. I think there's a lot of opportunity for him this week. Get back over to the starred questions. Here we go. A.R. Maynard or Hendy for one question, and then Fields or Penix for Ian.
It's A. Maynard and Fields. I like Penix, but he offers next to nothing in the passing game. So, hey, one more super chat.
It's back over.
It's going to be the last one. The Hunter Henry and Swift for Warren.
Yeah, there you go. Hunter Henry and Swift for Warren, and Addison or Olave. Should I do this trade if accepted? And do you prefer Addison or Olave?
I prefer Olave over Addison. I'm guessing we got to be more specific with these common last names because Warren could be Tyler Warren, the tight end, or Jalen Warren, the running back. So I just want to preface that. If it's Tyler Warren, give me Tyler Warren.
Mm-hmm.
He is the better player than Hunter Henry right now. If it's Jalen Warren, he's a better running back than. So honestly, I'm making this deal regardless of what Warren it is, and I would prefer Olave to Addison.
All right, I have.
All right, he chimes back as Tyler Warren. Get Tyler Warren.
Okay. Get Tyler Warren. I have a week 7 question, not week 6. Just traded Worthy and Chubb for CD.
Oh, smash!
I have Nuka, CD, DK, and Johnston. I can start 3. Who do you start? Assuming CD.
If CD plays next week, I'm sitting DK. I don't know the matchup off the top of my head, so I'm looking at this strictly off of talent. The Citizen, if you're subscribed to us, if you haven't, do so now. But come back. We answer start sit questions all next week. We've got our start sit show on Saturdays. Wednesday, we answer a lot of questions well on Wednesday nights. So that would be the better time to ask. But yeah, at the end of the day, this question could get answered for you if CD doesn't play. But the odd man out for me, quote unquote, would be DK because he just doesn't see the volume in the other.
Yeah, unless I'm missing. Okay, there it is.
But again, I don't know who's on bye either. So
Pittsburgh has Cincinnati. Dallas is home with Washington. Who else is it? San Diego. The LA Chargers are at home against Indy.
And then Puka is a must start. You're not sitting him.
Yeah,
so.
Puka doesn't matter. Puka's
I would be okay. I'd be okay sitting DK.
Okay. That's where we go there. Quick says, do you think Higgins' stock is up? See, there it goes again.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are asking this question, but okay. I'm not. It stays the same for me.
I have London, Abika, and Debo as my my 2 wide receivers and flex with Rice coming back. Who would you look to trade out of London, Debo, and Rice because you're not trading Abika?
Yeah, I really wouldn't trade any of them. Okay. I would keep one for the depth, but the odd man out for me would be Debo. I think his stock is going to slide here shortly. He's scoring touchdowns and he's getting used in the running game, which is great, but he doesn't offer the same level of upside the others do. So he would be the odd man out for me.
This is Martin Mims, Palmer, Parker, Washington, or Dima Cardo for the flex.
Oof. I'm gonna go Parker, Washington. They spread the ball around a lot in Jacksonville. It's probably the safer play out of all of them. Because with Mims, it could be 0. With Palmer, it could be 0. Parker Washington, I think, is going to at least get you 4 or 5 every week. So,
KJ Frederick says, my running backs in my Yahoo league are a straight ass. Need to start 2. Hendo, RJ Harvey, Sharpers, Vidal, or Kendra Miller. Full PPR.
Kendra Miller is my must out of this group, and then probably Charbonnet. Those would be the 2 that I would trust the most. All right, Jay, we got to hit the lightning round. We got a lot of them,
so let's go as quickly as we can here. Starting running back, CMC, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. I have Benson on IR. Should I trade away or hold Henry for a Dunze.
Bro, if you can get Hunter Henry for Roma Dunze, do it right now.
K-Quay says Murray or Fields.
No, we answered this already. It's Fields.
Some prediction questions. Is this the week Chase Brown finally scores more than 10 points and a half point since week 1?
Probably not, but Tedder McMillan has a prime matchup to score a touchdown, and we got another super chat from K-Quay.
Go ahead and pull it up if you can, because I got to scroll forward.
Yeah, I got it.
Hurting so bad at running back because of injuries. Do I pick up Blue? If so, drop Gainwell, Woody Marks, or Tootin, or hold what I got?
I'd be okay dropping Gainwell to get Jaden Blue. Unless you have Jalen Warren, in which case I'm hanging on to Gainwell and bypassing Blue.
Yep. I have Bill and DeAndre Swift. Who should I start this week? We know the answer.
It's Bill. Next.
I offered Puka and Mike Evans for Puka. He said he wants more because I'm 5-0. Yeah,
I don't blame you.
No.
I was going to say, we've been getting a lot of questions the last few weeks about trading Ibuka. People are scared because of Evans coming back, Godwin coming back, et cetera, et cetera. The only person that I am openly willing to trade in return is Puka Nacua, plain and simple. If you are holding on to Emeka Ibuka, that's it, bar none. Unless you can get Puka Nacua, that's the only way I'm moving Ibuka.
Should I start DJ Moore or Rashid?
DJ Moore next.
My bad. You said QJ. Pittman. Am I starting JSN or London? Or Tet, I'm sorry.
QJ over Pittman. That was the one that I mentioned.
Okay. Would you consider?
But I think Chase is going to be fine. I think he plays. We see these like the illness like pop up all the time. Like sometimes it's day of, sometimes it's 2 days before. It seems rare that these guys end up missing unless they're like diagnosed with COVID and have to miss. But I think Chase is going to be fine. But it's definitely a situation.
Start 2: Pittman, Jalen Waddle, Rico Dowdle, Jalen Warren.
Rico Dowdle and who does Pittsburgh have? They have the Browns. Right?
Pittsburgh has the Browns. Yes, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't love that matchup. I'm probably going Pittman. I'll go Rico and Pittman.
Start 1: Ertz. Gave him a 0 last week. Tungus or AJ Barner.
I think Ertz has a much better matchup this week. Derwin James shuts down tight ends, dude. So they'll be mad about it. Tungus is 100% touchdown reliant. He's not going to get much of anything else. Kind of the same thing with Barner, truthfully.
Start 1: Juwan, Mason Taylor, or Zach Ertz there.
It's Juwan Johnson for me, and one more from K-Quicks. Appreciate it, man. Anytime, make sure you subscribe, come back. We appreciate all the love, man.
Absolutely. Jason has one more here. Start 3: Ladd, Sutton, London, or Myers.
Oh, sitting Myers until further notice.
Start 3: maybe need. Yeah, Kyron Wright, Rico, Javonte, Swift, or Carter.
Definitely starting Kieran. You're starting Rico, and you're starting Javonte. There's your 3.
Cat for life. Ladies and gentlemen, Juwan Jennings, Brian Thomas Jr.
I'm starting BTJ. Not all that confident in him, but I'm starting BTJ.
Good morning, Hoove. Good morning. Cap wants to know Baker or Love.
You had a question with that, dude.
I figured he jumped in and just talked shit.
There's a reason I started.
The Weekly Bias added a new player to the waiver wire article. How much would it change the narrative for New Orleans this season if they beat New England this week?
I don't think it changes it much at all, truthfully. It's a home game. New England's still a young team. Do you think the Giants' season narrative changed just because they beat the Eagles this week? Because I don't. They're still a growing team. Like, it's not, You're going to get those types of wins. Like they beat a team last week that they should come in and beat them. I don't think it's going to propel them to an 8-9 win season. It just becomes one win on their way to 4 or 5. That's the way I look at it.
I think the New York Giants have scheduled their parade already for next Tuesday for their winning of the Super Bowl that they won. Keenan Olave, BTJ, pick 2.
Keenan and Olave for me.
And the one I just missed there, Baker or Love.
I love Jordan Love this week. It's Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Which I hate saying because Baker's been on fire, but yeah.
Yep. Tyler, do I drop Horton or Purdy as my QB2 for a roster spot?
I'm not somebody that hangs on to 2 quarterbacks typically because you can stream the position. So I would prefer, if you're using that roster spot, to not use it on a second quarterback. That's just me. Purdy obviously been in and out of the lineup, so I mean I'm fine holding on to Horton and then using that other roster spot.
Kamara, Haskins, Pacheco, pick one.
Kamara. It's definitely not Pacheco and certainly not Haskins right now. Real quick, we got a super chat from Poyos Bros. No question with it, homie. So I don't know if you got one, drop it in the chat for me. Maybe I missed it. But, let us know and I'll queue it up, man.
Absolutely. Which of the Las Vegas backups are you dropping first? Lob, Mostert, or Zamir White?
Zamir White, yeah. Zamir White was getting run early in the season because Mostert was missing games. Mostert came out and actually looked pretty decent the last time he played. And Lobs, they're kind of using as more of a third down guy. So for me, it's Zamir White, but I'm not feeling confident about rostering any of them, Scamper. So I'm guessing this is a pretty deep league.
Did we answer this already for him? I don't remember. I know we talked about the trade, but regarding his trade question earlier, he's considering counting an offer. He would receive. I received asking for Nico and received Pickens. To clarify, he would.
Yeah, no. So, and this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, I mean, first off, you want the Nico side simply because Nico over Pickens and Rice, plain and simple, right?
100%.
If trading Cooper Kupp, I'm 100% fine with that because he doesn't offer any value. But like, yeah, give me Nico Collins. Like, that's the side you want. Like, if I can move Kupp in a different deal, like, then I'll do that. But no, you want the best player in the deal. It's Nico Collins.
Zach, Michael Carter or Rico Dowdle this week?
Rico Dowdle this week is not close.
Yeah. I need a streaming tight end this week since Bowers is out. Fannin, Tungus, or Meyer?
Fannin.
Caleb Williams or Purdy or Lawrence to start this week? Well, Purdy we already know is out, so it's Caleb Williams or Trevor Lawrence.
Caleb Williams, and it's not close.
CD for Waddle and Scat. If I get rid of Waddle, need to start JMO, Golden, or Henderson.
That's not enough for me to part with CD Lamb, but if you were giving up Waddle and Scat to get CD, yes, home run, good for you. So if you're plugging in CD, obviously you need somebody to start. Ew. Henderson feels like the safest of that group, but I think they're all landmines, truthfully. But I would go Henderson. James Williams just is not involved in that offense. Right now.
Nowhere near what we wanted him to. Sterling Shepard, Alvin Kamara, if healthy, half PPR.
Kamara next.
Pick 2 flexes: Debo, Olave, Derrick Henry, Matthew Golden, Charbonnet.
Debo and Olave.
Hunter Henry and Swift for Warren and Olave.
Yeah, that's the one we kind of answered already. Yeah.
That might have been the one he was talking about earlier as well. Do I pick up Aaron Jones or handcuff Bijan?
I prefer Aaron Jones. I mean, Jordan Mason's kind of been the guy even before Aaron Jones got hurt. He's playing more of a secondary role this season. But I think once McCarthy comes back and more standalone value, in my opinion. So I prefer that.
Daniel Jones, Bo Nix rest of the season.
Bo Nix.
Should I drop Gainwell for Isaiah Davis, running back for the Jets? I need depth. I traded ETN and Scat for Wilson 3 weeks ago, and he's regretting it.
Yeah, it's difficult to trade 2 running backs for 1 wide receiver. I can tell you that because running back depth is so scarce. I mean, Davis, I think, offers more value, not worse. The Jets they're a running team, so like they're gonna run. Davis is gonna slowly get more involved in that offense, and Braylon Allen isn't coming back anytime soon. There's also rumors that Breece Hall could end up getting traded. If that's the case, then Isaiah Davis's value is going to shoot through the roof. So I would say Davis.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be stupid for them to trade him. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex, Derrick Henry, Pollard, Spears, Dobbins, Bill, Vidal, QJ, Jacoby Myers, T. Higgins, Travis Hunter, Kendrick Bourne. So 2, 2, 2.
I feel like we answered this already. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them are coming back doubling up.
Yeah, probably, because I mean, it would just
we're trying to get through them all, but yeah. We've had a lot of them today.
All right, 2 running backs, Dobbins and Bill. 2 wide receivers, QJ and probably Bourne. And then for the flex would be Pollard and Higgins. I believe that, yeah. And Kendrick Bourne is basically if,
all right.
Mac Jones plays.
All right, a few questions and Dylan's comment here. Let's get it out. Full PPR. Team is scatterboos here. Few questions. Start 1 tight end. Warren, Kraft, Waller. And then should he trade?
Yes, you should. There's literally no reason to have 3 tight ends on your roster.
Okay. Which one are you starting? It's Tucker Kraft. Okay. Rank these quarterbacks. Fields, Murray, Young, Darnold.
God. I'm down on Fields this week, but I'm not so far down on him that I'm moving him below any of these other guys. So I'm going to say Fields. Murray, if he plays. Young was Ryan's stream of the week. I still think Darnold does better than Young, though. So I would go Fields to rank him.
All right. That's 1 flex. Bourne, Flowers, or Swift. Yep. Agree. Let's see. Next one we have 3 and 2, and I'm favored this week.
I think they're kind of the same player, truthfully. I mean, if you like one offense better than the other, then go get that.
He does a half point PPR with a half point per first down.
If it's half point per first down, I would prefer Rice because that's the area of the field that he operates in.
I think we feel like we answered this one here. It's
yeah.
Bob Hope in the house. Sutton, Dobbs, and Swift. Pick 1. Flex also. Picked Otten.
Funny part is you're old enough to know who Bob Hope is.
I thought about that as I looked at you started smiling. I'm like, yeah, nobody in here knows who Bob Hope really was.
Oh man, that's funny. All right, pick 1 for the flex. Dobbs.
All right, then he also has Pitts, Otten, Taylor.
Pitts.
All right, Ramondre or Travion versus the Saints, and what do you say? Also, thanks for Wandale over the JMO.
There you go. I mean, you got to go Ramondre. He's the one that's starting. The team doesn't yet trust Travion, so why should we? It sucks with Travion because we're going to miss his breakout. He's going to be on our bench, and then we're going to start him, and then he's going to go back to meh. So,
yep. Purdy with Dak or Horton. Who do I drop?
I mean, you have Dak. You don't need Purdy.
Yep. Thomas says pick 2. T-Mac, Dowdle, Keenan Allen.
I'm going to sit Allen here.
I don't want to do that.
I don't either. I'm relying too heavily on the Panthers, but those are the 2 best options for the Panthers. So I'm okay with
that. I agree. Need 1 running back and 1 flex. Chase Brown. Say Judy.
Judy's droppable. Judy shouldn't be on a roster,
Yeah,
Jason.
that's
one running back. Who does the Jags play this week?
the Jags are at home, Seattle.
Seattle. Okay. I would rank the running backs ETN, Pollard, and Chase Brown. That's how I would rank them. I love Pollard's matchup, but I can't sit ETN.
Is it Diggs or A Maynard for your?
It's Diggs.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think Diggs is gonna absolutely smash. Real quick, I just want to address this because Tay put this in the chat. Tay, I don't know why your message is getting deleted. The only thing I can think of is there's some word that you're putting in there that YouTube is deleting. And Poyos, I saw the super chat come through, but there was no question with it. So that would probably be why.
Absolutely. And speaking of super chats, K Quick comes back and says, "Come on."
We've answered that a couple of times, K Quicks.
And
I have zero trust in Swift. I understand it's a really good matchup. It's a decent matchup for Kamara too. Like they give up quite a bit to running backs out of the backfield. So Miller's getting more volume, which I like for Miller perspective, but that should allow more receiving work for Kamara. He's still receiving that work. It's just not a lot of yards with that. Swift is just garbage flat out, dude. Like he's not good. So yeah. I and again, I understand the Q tag on Kamara. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if he's out, this question is going to get answered for you. The questionable tag, when they did away with probable, the questionable tag has just been amplified for no reason, because more often than not, questionable means probable. And there's nothing that's been trending that says that Kamara is not going to play.
Yep.
That's what he was referring to.
H13 Production says, send Judkins and Keenan Allen for Josh Jacobs as a question. My running back room is Henry, Kamara, Judkins, Mondre, Rashad White. His wide receivers are Rashid Rice, BTJ, Marvin Harrison, Debo, Keenan. I wanted to send Kamara and Keenan originally.
Yeah, I mean, I would much prefer that too, but clearly the other manager knows what they have in Judkins. Look, I like Judkins. I'm going to take the running back on the better offense who's seeing just as much work. It's Josh Jacobs. I'm okay with this trade.
Shaheed DeMarcado this week.
Gross. I mean, you could, quite frankly, Tyler, you could get zeros from both of them. So give me the guy that I think could score the touchdown. It's Shaheed. I just do not love DeMarcado's matchup.
And then going right back to H3, he said he's asked if he'd take Kamara and BTJ or Marvin Harrison Jr. for the Jacobs. So he's still waiting on his reply. Which way would you go here? Kamara BTJ or Kamara Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Right.
Would be the guy that I'd want to keep. If I'm going for Jacobs, I would rather trade Kamara and BTJ versus MHJ. Yeah, that's where I would go. And real quick, this is the last question that I saw from Los Pollos. We answered this already because you brought up that it was Tyler Warren. You want Tyler Warren, so go get the Tyler Warren, and Olave would be the preference over Addison.
Yeah, and Little Tape did jump back and he said, okay, sorry, I still haven't seen anything on it. So as soon as you get that, fill in the comments there, and we'll get you pulled right up. Yeah. In my other 10-team league, my team is cooked. His running backs are Henry, Monty, Chase Brown, Dowdle. His wide receivers are Abika, QJ, Dobbs, J-Mo. Tight ends are Kelsey, Waller, Mason Taylor, send Chase Brown and Kelsey for Tet and plus Fab.
Quickly as you possibly can.
100%. Matt Gay or Bagley for the kicker?
So I'm going to take Ryan's advice here. And I know a lot of people are saying, Badgley's not good, blah, blah, blah. He's filling in for the injured Spencer Schrader for the Bengals now. Schrader sucked last year. It's amazing what happens when an offense becomes good. Badgley's had some good streaks as a kicker. There's a reason that he's called the Money Badger. I'm going to lean Badgley. That's where I would go.
All right, one more time. I'm going to drop it in the chat. The link for the Discord. Make sure you join us over there. We will be talking ball all day tomorrow. Fantasy and just football in general. Josh, we have come to the end. HH just threw it in there. Thank you. Appreciate you as well. I don't see any more questions in here, Josh. So unless Tay wants to get one in, Tay, join us over in the Discord. Make sure you ask your questions over there. We'll answer them over there. Tag Josh, tag myself, tag Brian, whoever you want to answer the question. We'll all jump in if that's the case, if that's what you need. If you have more start sits, anybody, more than welcome to jump over there. Next show for us is going to be Monday's Anxiety, the recap show at 11 a.m. right here on the Same Bat channel. Man, it's week 6, and I feel like it should be like week 14 this point. Crazy. With all the injuries we've had. My goodness. Los Polos, I don't want to jump over into the Discord with us, buddy, for us. I don't know how to do this. Don't forget you have a 9:30 a.m. game. Make sure your lineups are set tonight for that game. If you have any questions, again, get us over to the Discord. But that's it, man. We're out of here. Josh, we will see y'all